Attention once again. Please rise and stand, as it is my privilege to welcome the President's Party to the stage. We welcome Dr. Aaron Sadlak, Grand Marshal, Father Joseph Elston, Chaplain, Sister Bernice Simonsik Lucas, representative of the Marywood Alumni Association, Dr. Christina Clark, Provost, Sister Ellen Maroney, IHM, President of the Congregation of the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, Lisa Laurie, Esquire, Chair of the Marywood Board of Trustees, and last but certainly and never least, Sister Mary Persico, IHM, President of Marywood University.
Brothers and sisters, on this great day of celebration, let us pray. Loving God, it is so good for us to be together this day to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2021 of Marywood University. In these times that have challenged our resolve, wounded our spirits, and broken our hearts, we celebrate this day the power that you, O God, plant within us to overcome adversity, to recreate our world, and in the midst of darkness, to bring hope, light, and life through our openness to your abiding presence. As we lift up to you in prayer our graduates, we give thanks. We thank you, O God, for parents, for families, and all those who have nurtured and cared for our graduates and have sustained them along the way. We thank you for the educational experience built on the foundation of our Catholic faith and imbued with the spirit of the sisters, servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, an educational experience that has challenged growth in mind and spirit and has the power to endure in hearts forever. We thank you for teachers, for colleagues and friends who have walked the journey with our graduates and who have helped to make them who they are this day. We thank you for the gift of our faith that gives us hope amid the joys and disappointments of life. And we thank you, O God, for our graduates, for the gift of their lives, for all that they have achieved, and for their openness to your presence. We pray that they will attend to their life's work with integrity, grounded in a deep belief in you, O God, and a profound respect for the lives that you weave into their own. May they always be committed to the pursuit of knowledge, and in an age fraught with anger and division, may they dedicate themselves to the gospel value of servant leadership. Walk with them this day, O God, into a new chapter of their lives. May the perseverance that has brought them to this moment carry them forth to build a world marked by peace, justice, and compassion beyond measure, while always mindful of your grace and presence abiding within their hearts. Amen.
Attorney Lisa Laurie and members of the Board of Trustees, President Sister Mary Persico, administration, deans, faculty, parents, family, and friends, and most especially you, the distinguished members of the Marywood University class of 2021. After a year like no other year, it is truly a special honor and joy for me to stand before you today representing the Marywood University Corporation members and all the sisters, servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the founding and sponsoring congregation of this wonderful university. On their behalf, I congratulate each of you, our graduates, and your parents, and all those who helped to make this day possible for you. It truly is a day for much gratitude and rejoicing by all. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge very specially all the administrators, faculty, and staff who day to day witness to our IHM charism by how they live and serve you and others. I also want to thank and congratulate Sister Mary for her vision, her energy, her dedication, and her willingness to serve this wonderful institution. Thank you, Mary. Throughout this past year, you, the members of the class of 2021, have demonstrated enormous dedication, courage, creativity, flexibility, patience, and yes, a sense of humor in order to get to this special moment. Few classes have had to overcome the challenges you have faced. I am quite certain that you, the class of 2021, will not be defined by what was lost to this virus, but how you steadfastly responded to it, and that your experiences and learnings will lead you to create a new normal for our world, one that is more just, kind, beautiful, tender, and loving. That was the dream of our IHM sisters who founded this university over 100 years ago. And while those founding sisters died long before any of you set foot on this beautiful campus, you were in their minds when they were inspired to build this university. You have inherited their dreams, graduates. You are standing on the shoulders of those founding sisters. We are entrusting you with a living charism built on faith, passion, trust, and commitment. It is now in your capable hands and hearts to see that it is given new expression in this world today and in the years to come. And so, congratulations, graduates, and thank you for having enriched all of our lives by your presence among us, and for taking with you the inspiration and legacy of Marywood University. For that truly will be the measure of your future success and ours. May your lives be filled with goodness and laughter, and your hearts with hope and joy. And may God's blessings go with you today and sustain you all the days of your life. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As chair of the Marywood University Board of Trustees, and as a proud Marywood graduate myself, I am delighted to welcome you here today, to those of you who are here in person and those of you who are here remotely. It's also my great privilege to welcome the members of the Marywood University Corporation, my fellow trustees of the university, Sister Mary Persico, Reverend clergy, revered sisters, university officers, members of the faculty, administration, and staff, and students and alumni. I'm especially delighted to welcome our most esteemed guests, the class of 2021. Congratulations. Let's take a moment to acknowledge with gratitude those who have supported you in your journey, your family, your friends, faculty, and mentors, by giving them a round of applause. Graduates, today we celebrate you and all that you have accomplished. Commencement signifies the beginning of something. This is your beginning. This is your commencement. It's your new beginning, and we cheer each and every one of you as you journey towards even greater success. So on behalf of the Marywood University Board of Trustees, I offer each and every one of you my warmest congratulations.
Good day to all. I'm Dr. Christina Clark, Provost of Marywood University, and it's my distinct pleasure to be with you today. I'm delighted to introduce and to pay tribute to our principal speaker, who will address us via recorded message. We're truly grateful for his willingness to share his insights with the class of 2021. So, on this 15th day of May, 2021, Marywood University is pleased to honor Stephen Karam for his award-winning and critically acclaimed work as a playwright and, more recently, as a screenwriter. Born and raised just a few blocks away from Marywood, Mr. Karam's small-town upbringing would later influence his writing. After graduating from Brown University, he became an apprentice at the world-famous Utah Shakespeare Festival. In 2006, he co-wrote a play titled Columbinus, which became his first professional production when it was produced by the New York Theater Workshop. He still held a regular day job and continued working on his plays on the side before making a name for himself as a full-fledged playwright. Now, the kid from Greenridge is a Tony Award-winning author of The Humans, Sons of the Prophet, and Speech and Debate. Mr. Karam has received 2 Drama Critics Circle Awards for Best Play and an Obie Award for his work. And he is a 2-time finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, as well as recipient of the inaugural Horton Foote Playwriting Award, the inaugural Sam Norkin Drama Desk Award, 2 Outer Critics Circle Awards, a Lucille Lortel Award, Drama League Award, and Hull Warrener Award. Additionally, he recently directed his first feature film, and he teaches graduate playwriting courses at the New School in New York City. It is fitting, therefore, that Marywood University, whose mission of educational excellence in the liberal arts tradition is long-standing, should salute Stephen Karam, whose life and energies have been devoted to these pursuits.
I'm excited to be with you today and celebrate your achievement. After an uncanny year, new forms of learning, and more Zooms than you ever anticipated, you did it. I want to congratulate the graduates from 10 different countries and 30 different states, and also family and friends, faculty and staff in the entire Marywood community. My mother was a Marywood graduate 50 years ago, as are many relatives and friends, so addressing this community has special meaning for me. I grew up a few blocks from the Arch, and the campus itself feels like an extension of my backyard. It's hard to remember a day where there wasn't a walk or a bike ride through campus, casting weird reflections of myself in the mirrors of the Shield Center, piano lessons with Sister Joan Paskert, and sneaking an occasional yodel in the rotunda while my mom was running an errand on campus. Part of me thinks I'm not old enough to give a commencement address. The other part thinks of hours spent in Marywood's old library, no longer in existence, printing microfiche copies of theater articles. Microfiche felt high-tech to me at the time, so suffice to say, I am old enough to give this speech. Now that I'm a teacher myself, I tell my students that the best stories they can write are the ones that only they could write, to focus on their own quirks, obsessions, their loves. So I'll take my own advice and frame this short reflection with my own obsession and love of stories. Good storytelling requires two simple gazes: the ability to gaze inward and reflect on personal experience, and the ability to gaze outward to be curious about the experiences of others. Holding both is essential. It creates a meaningful haze of gray area, ambiguity, and some mystery. This dual gaze has been instrumental in helping me create fictional stories, but also in guiding me through real life after college. My obsession with stories kicked off when I saw my sister's production of Little Shop of Horrors at North Scranton Intermediate School. I liked that you couldn't neatly categorize any of the characters as all good or all bad. Seymour was a nerdy orphan, capable of great kindness, but also capable of killing people and feeding them to a man-eating plant. There were multiple complex truths at play. Two things could be true at the same time. I love that. Art does this so well. It can hold competing ideas at once because art's job is just to tell the truth, whereas in an arena like politics, there needs to be a clear winner. F. Scott Fitzgerald seems to appreciate the difficulty and essential nature of competing notions when he said, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function." Scrantonians have a leg up on this, I'd wager. We know how to thrive in a purple state. We're used to having strong beliefs and living beside others who don't see things the same way we do. If you're thinking, don't talk to us about gray area and ambiguity, we've survived college during a pandemic, please give a speech full of concrete, incontestable wisdom. The opposing ideas at play right here now are: one, I want to be authentic, and two, I have been flipping through viral TikToks wondering if I could get away with a listicle like, here are 3 ways to ensure every graduate lives a perfect, happy life with unlimited prosperity and wealth forever. Obviously, I can't do a list like that with a straight face, but I can hone in on 4 practical ways I search for meaning and authenticity in my stories, and how those 4 ideas might help you process your own life story. But first, potentially useful observation: your story can change. I wish I had an easier understanding of this when I was younger. It is entirely normal to set out on a planned path only to encounter unforeseen swerves, to be thwarted. A lot of my 20s, I was anxious about nailing down answers to where will I live? Where will I be in 5 years? Why did I major in English? Should I get a PhD in English? Uncertainty didn't feel good. During my 9 years of assorted day jobs, from legal assistant to working Citibank promotions, I ran from gray area. Life was chaotic, so I avoided complex truths in favor of neater, less honest answers. Maybe you've occasionally felt like a broken record as you say for the millionth time to inquiring adults, I'm a business major and I'll go into accounting. I'm in communications and I will pursue broadcast journalism. It's not that your journey won't go as planned, for many it does, but if your narrative doesn't unfold neatly, that's not an ominous sign. That's not even failure. That's life. I wish I'd been less afraid of the in-between zones of life. No one told me that the moments where you're trying to get somewhere that makes more sense, those moments are a lot of life. If I knew this in my 20s, instead of being irked by the ambiguity of it all, when asked what I do for a living, I might have said with less stress, I'm a legal assistant who sometimes dresses in a blue jumpsuit to work at Citibank promotional raffle, but what I really want to do is write for the theater. That is a horrible pickup line, but I would have felt liberated to tell something resembling the truth. My second hope for you, make time for the things you love. In the midst of doing responsible things like setting up a Roth IRA and Googling, what is a Roth IRA? You'll notice that life has an endless supply of worthwhile distractions. Setting up a new home, showing up for someone in your life who needs extra care. It's normal to get carried far away from your passions, from the stuff that fills you up. Sometimes your joys will be fully merged with your job and how you earn money, but if you find yourself in a gray zone where you're only partially fulfilled by your career or not at all, keep asking yourself, what are the no-brainer loves of my life? What do I turn to at the end of the most tedious, cold, lonely day when the whole world feels broken? A sport I no longer play, crocheting, fixing cars. Do those things. Get better at those things. Let those things lead you to other things. When you're tuned into what you love, the no-brainer loves, you'll be less tuned in to what others think you should be interested in, and more in sync with what you want for your story. My third hope for you, stay curious about stuff you don't know a lot about, but want to know more about. Formal education gives great structure and wonderful steps to building skill sets, but unofficial learning, spending time exploring what motivates you, it's nourishing in ways that you will be surprised by. I was always curious about movie making, but never studied it. However, I cannot remember a time I wasn't making home movies in my bedroom with friends and Legos. In 8th grade, I adapted an Edgar Allan Poe short story into a short film with my East Scranton Intermediate School classmates. In the climactic scene, I buried my friend alive using cardboard bricks from my sister's kitchen playset. I planned this obsessively, and because it was the past and I lacked editing tools or a computer, we lugged my parents' heavy VHS camera all over the place and had to shoot the entire thing in order until it was right. This is to say, I've always been obsessed with filmmaking, but until last year when I directed my first film, I had a problem. I'd established my story and my career my whole life as a writer. So I'd forgotten that stories can change. And so it took me almost 25 years to connect the dots from burying my friend alive with Barbie bricks on VHS to step into a new part of the story. I was 25 years deep into being too scared to fail. And let's talk briefly about fear of failure. In the same way it is liberating to name your obsessions, your true loves, both obvious and secret, it can be liberating to name your fears. If you don't name your fears, I have bad news. They're gonna find you anyway, and in that scenario, there's still some good news. Colliding with your fears head on is liberating. I don't wanna be treacly here. Facing your fears is not fun. Not once have I enjoyed the reality of loss of love in my life, or the death of a loved one, or loss of health, or coping with public creative failure. Even coming out of the closet was terrifying. But Ms. Microfiche here is just old enough to say with confidence that the pain you'll experience in those terrifying moments, when you come out the other side of them, the cliches are true, you'll have grown more than you could have otherwise. You'll feel more free, your story more complex. My fourth hope for you is that you'll think more about zooming out. You'll develop the muscle that helps you see a bigger picture when you feel trapped or stuck in a given moment. Zoom out of your creative process, zoom out of your life planning, your dinner planning, your Roth IRA planning, and try to see the picture from above. This is a tough muscle to develop as everybody's own day-to-day drama is plenty to deal with. Looking outside yourself might be harder than ever because we've all got computers in our hands that reward us for being obsessed with ourselves. And look, I keep saying two things can be true at the same time. So by all means, take a hot mirror selfie today. Let the people know you graduated and looked good. But then, alongside the dopamine hits from the meaningful Instagram comments you'll be receiving, such as looking good and perhaps the flame emoji, also hold on to how critical and meaningful it is to step outside of yourself. I say the following in shock. all of our grandparents and parents and priests and sisters and rabbis and teachers were right. Doing things as small as the thank you notes, volunteering, being a good neighbor, showing up for those you love, it's not fake good for you. It has lasting outsized rewards. I have never regretted connecting to community. I have only regretted not doing those things more. The fun way to zoom out is through art. With art, it's not work, you do it unconsciously. As James Baldwin put it, you think your pain and your heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read. All of the things that feel enormous to you, intangibly huge, immeasurable, overwhelming. An artist has written about this, danced about this, painted this, suffered this either 1,000 years ago and 1,000 miles away, or most definitely in 1994 in Marywood's Performing Arts Center when I danced for my salvation in The Nutcracker, in the unmemorable role as a parent, although there was something memorable about me being 15 with mild acne and being paired with a wife who was middle-aged. I digress. Art zooms us out without even trying. It connects you to your own story by making you think about other people's. So it seems fitting to end with a story. Chekhov wrote a short one called The Student. Little on the nose. I know, bear with me. In the story, a young seminary student is having a very bad day. He is on a boring, cold walk alone. His fingers are numb. His face is burning from the wind. He's in a bad mood. It's also Good Friday, so the whole world felt broken. The student ends up stopping by a widow's house to warm himself by a fire. And as he warms his hands, he starts thinking about how on this Good Friday, more than 1,000 years ago, maybe the Apostle Peter also warmed himself by a fire on that cold night. And so he starts to tell the old woman about the night Peter denied knowing Christ 3 times, and how after the 3rd time, Peter went out of the courtyard and wept bitterly. And the student looks up to see the widow is crying herself. She's sobbing. The student is shocked. His story has had this effect on the woman, and he never learns precisely why she's crying. It remains a bit of a mystery. Chekhov only lets us into how her reaction affects him. Quote, obviously, what he had just told her, something that had taken place 19 centuries ago, had a relationship to the present. The past, the student thought, is connected with the present in an unbroken chain of events flowing one out of the other. And it seemed to him that he had just seen both ends of that chain. He touched one end and the other moved. He kept thinking about how the truth and beauty that had guided human life there in Peter's garden and in the high priest's courtyard went on unbroken to this day, and evidently had always been the main thing in human life and generally on earth. And a feeling of youth, health, strength, he was only 22, and an inexpressibly sweet anticipation of happiness, an unknown, mysterious happiness, gradually came over him, and life seemed to him delightful, wondrous, and filled with lofty meaning. This is not considered one of Chekhov's greatest short stories, but I love it for its simplicity. The same student out on a solitary, freezing, miserable walk ends up finishing the journey feeling totally different. Physically, he's still alone and freezing, but he feels connected, hopeful. His worst day has become his best day. No overly tidy lesson in this or any of my favorite stories, and hopefully none here. My best writing results from meditating on questions I can't answer. My greatest, sweetest, most ineffable highs have come from accepting mystery. But I want you to know with absolute certainty that as you start down your varied paths, even if at times the journey turns cold, unsteady, gloomy, and solitary, that same path holds constant potential to inspire feelings of deep connection, delight, wonder, and being part of a bigger story filled with lofty meaning. Congratulations.
Thank you, Stephen. If Stephen is watching this graduation ceremony, he can probably tell that there were chuckles at all the right moments. as you were listening intently. Now, how do I know that those were all the right moments? Because I don't think it's lost on you that all of us on this stage, faculty members and trustees, staff, some of us have seen this now for the fourth time. But I must say, it's inspiring the fourth time, and maybe even more so than it is the first. So if you want to be inspired again by the words of Stephen Karam, our neighbor, please feel free to click on the link that was sent to you and enjoy it for the second time, and maybe more. I would like to make a few remarks before giving you your diplomas, your degrees. I'm sure you're not surprised by that. But before that, I would like to ask you to do something. I know Attorney Lisa Laurie, our board chair, asked you to thank the faculty, administrators, staff, and all those who had anything to do with this ceremony and with your education. But I know, as I look down the aisles here, that you have been invited to bring 2 people with you to this ceremony. And I imagine that those 2 people are very near and dear to you and have had a very strong impact on your life and on your education. So I would like you to take a moment to once again thank those 2 people. You have to remember to hug one another all the time. All right. I've been observing you for the past several years, and so I share these remarks with you. In 2012, the Taliban in northwestern Pakistan attempted to assassinate a young schoolgirl by the name of Malala Yousafzai. She was riding home from school on a school bus. Malala, as she is known today, survived the attack after several serious operations, but has since dedicated her life to fighting for the right to education for women around the world. At the age of 16, Malala spoke to the United Nations. At the age of 17, she became the youngest person to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Today, Malala is 23 years old. We first heard of David Hogue in 2018 when he survived the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting and immediately rose to prominence as an activist for gun control. David spoke at the youth-led March for Our Lives peaceful protest in Washington, D.C. He was named by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people of 2018. And today, David is 21 years old. Naomi Osaka, tennis great of Japan, defeated champion Serena Williams in the Australian Open in February of this year. Subsequently, she was named the 2021 Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year and was ranked #1 by the Women's Tennis Association. And then all the proceeds from the masks designed by Naomi and her sister were sent to benefit UNICEF's COVID-19 relief efforts. Naomi is 23 years old. Greta Thunberg was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 2019. In December 2018, she spoke at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Poland. This young Swedish woman became famous for challenging world leaders on the subject of climate change, and even went Twitter to Twitter with the former President of the United States. Today, she is only 18 years old. So Malala, David, Naomi, Greta, how are their lives different from yours? As I said, I have observed you for the past several years, and the answer to that question is this: the only thing that differentiates you from them is fame. And we will all find out sooner or later that fame is fleeting. Who are you? This is who you are. This is who you in your college are. In the midst of a global pandemic, and like any other crisis the world has experienced in a century, as members of the Accounting and Finance Club, you and the Student Engagement Office offered a program to teach undergrads finance literacy skills that they will need when they graduate. You also held a candlelight prayer service to commemorate lives lost during COVID-19. As students in the Global Innovation and Business Department, you found time to support our PA and nursing students in the various venues where they administered nearly 5,000 vaccines in recent months. Many of you in the School of Education reached out to tutor primary and secondary students who were struggling with online schoolwork at home. Others of you in the School of Education held online workshops to prepare teachers in identifying and supporting students at risk for mental health issues. You also offered programs to teachers that promote self-care and that suggested ways to support students who have experienced trauma. As member of the School of Architecture's Honor Society, Tau Sigma Delta, in conjunction with the National Organization of Minority Architects, you developed an exhibit to demonstrate the efficacy, benefits, and overall significance of Black architects in society. As the entire fourth-year class of the Bachelor of Architecture program, you placed first in the 2021 Solar Decathlon Design Challenge in the category of attached housing. For those in the audience who don't know, this is an international student design competition run by the U.S. Department of Energy, and winning first place is a big deal. This is just a short list of all the accomplishments you and this college have achieved during this year, especially during this year. But now, this is the part of your graduation ceremony when I'm supposed to exhort you to live the core values of Marywood University. And as I think upon it, obviously, concepts such as service, excellence, and empowerment are already deeply rooted within you and in the graduates of the others of this university who have had similar experiences in their own fields of expertise and who graduated earlier today. And here is where I tell you that you will surely meet life's challenges in the years to come. And you say, in the years to come? Ironically, that has already happened to you in ways that graduates in times gone by have never known at this juncture of their lives. So as we move beyond a world event that deprives you of many personal joys and social experiences, we see big glimpses of hope in a generation of people, your generation, known as Generation Z. We see glimpses of hope in you and in your peers. For you have already demonstrated to us, to the community, and to the world that you can lead, that you believe in the principle of the common good, and that the values of Catholic social thought taught here at Marywood have guided and continue to guide your actions. It's no secret in our broken, tired, frustrated world that the world needs people like Malala, David, Naomi, Greta, but also you. I encourage you, if you have not already done so, to gather with your family and friends to watch your graduation liturgy, which was recorded last week and attended by some of you in our Marywood Chapel. You have received the link, and it's on our website. During that liturgy, as we prayed with and for you, our chaplain, Father Elston, reflected upon the gospel passage that reads, "You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. During these past years, especially this one, you have been our light. We will never forget you or this year, and we will speak of you long into the future. So do not forget what you have lost. Rather, rejoice in what you have gained. One other member of Generation Z, poet Amanda Gorman, wrote, "For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." I know this. You are brave enough. And so, today I say on behalf of the university, congratulations. We have loved you. We will miss you. And for now we say farewell and God bless you. And so this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Today, we gather to bestow degrees upon candidates from the College of Professional Studies. And so I ask your dean, Mr. James Sullivan, do you formally present these candidates to me for the conferral of degrees, Dean Sullivan?
I do.
He said, I do. Then, by the power vested in me by the state of Pennsylvania and Marywood University Board of Trustees, I hereby confer the following degrees: Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Interior Architecture, Master of Public Administration, Master of Science, Bachelor of Architecture, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Environmental Design and Architecture, Bachelor of Interior Architecture, and Bachelor of Science upon the candidates presented to me by the Dean of the College of Professional Studies, and admit them to said degrees, and do proclaim them sons and daughters of the university forever.
Thank you, Sister Mary. At this time, the graduates will come forward to receive their degrees. They will be introduced by the directors or an honored faculty member from their schools and program. Our first reader today is Dr. Alexander DeWoody, Director of the Doctoral and Public Administration Programs.
Sister Mary, it is a pleasure to present to you the graduates from the doctoral program and the Master of Public Administration program. Kelly Jean Kammerer, Doctor of Philosophy. Caroline Denise Millen, Doctor of Philosophy in Human Development, Organizational Leadership, recipient of the William G. McGowan Medal of Excellence in Doctoral Studies. Congratulations. Sheikh Kafumba Dukli II, Doctor of Philosophy. Next, Master Program at MPA. Shavante Dwatkins, Master of Public Administration. Next, MPA. Kyla Wondolowski, Master of Public Administration, recipient of the Walton Medal for Excellence in Public Administration. Christian Evan Valentine, Master of Public Administration. Next, that's it. I now welcome Mr. James Eckler, Director of the School of Architecture, to the podium.
Sister Mary, it is my pleasure to present to you the graduates from the School of Architecture. Kimberly Ann Hagan, Master of Interior Architecture. Matthew Andrew Casal, Bachelor of Architecture. Keith Bro, cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Noah James Rybar, cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Daniel Keogh, Bachelor of Architecture. Sarah Catherine Sturchak, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture, Tau Sigma Delta, bronze medal. Jonathan Michael Arsenault, Bachelor of Architecture. James Michael Pearson, Bachelor of Architecture. Lindsay Reinhardt, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Jordan Elizabeth Kaiser, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Brianna Francesca Ferraris Melfi, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Jessica Ryan Gonzalski, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Tegan Ingalls, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Busra Ada Selman Lar, Bachelor of Architecture. Ryan Orlandini, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Tyler Lee Grant, Bachelor of Architecture. Joseph Schofield, cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Gina Nolan, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Carly Ann Wilsusen, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Angela Sanchez, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Megan Strevig, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Joseph Edward Rossi, Bachelor of Architecture. Brendan O'Rourke, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Kevin Michael Mancy, Bachelor of Architecture. Julia Taylor, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Madison Jane Friedrichsen, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Megan Lynn Foley, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Edward Stephen Sankis, Bachelor of Architecture. Jorge Ernesto Reynoso, cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Tyler Costello, Bachelor of Architecture. Paige Catherine Bechtel, Master of Interior Architecture. Natasha Gillot, Master of Interior Architecture. Megan Diana Swizicki, Master of Interior Architecture. Rebecca Dolgus, Citation and Honors, summa cum laude, valedictorian, recipient of the Kappa Gamma Pi Medal for General Excellence, Tau Sigma Delta Bronze Medal, Bachelor of Architecture. Samantha Karazoon, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Gage Fetzko, Bachelor of Architecture. Madeline Kristen Langlotz, cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Jeffrey T. Johnson, Bachelor of Architecture. Edward Hans, Bachelor of Architecture. Matthew Scott Young, cum laude, Bachelor of Architecture. Connor Trask, Bachelor of Architecture. Carson Moore, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Ashley Sophia Wilga, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Andrea Ruth Inhofe, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. This one required a few more lines in the program. We have Brenna Heller, summa cum laude, recipient of the Edward Gajewski Medal of Excellence in Design, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Alexa Lee Vetter, Bachelor of Architecture. John Edward Dempsey, Bachelor of Architecture. Grace Spezia, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. Sarah Rose Lynch, cum laude, Bachelor of Interior Architecture. David Klein, Bachelor of Architecture. I now welcome Dr. Rex Dumdum, Associate Professor, School of Business and Global Innovation, to the podium.
Yeah! Sister Mary, it is with great pleasure to present to you our much-loved graduates from the School of Business and Global Innovation. Canny Shale Matha, Master of Business Administration. Samantha Nicole Rivera, Bachelor of Business Administration. Brenna Kelly, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Megan Rose Garrity, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Mia Cannell, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Brian M. Dean, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. All right, wait first. I got a story first to tell about Chibuzo Anthony Arocendo. She is an international student from Nigeria. Yeah. She is one of our top students in the MBA program, and we are so very proud of him and what he has accomplished. When Chi first arrived in the United States, Chi was stranded at the Newark International Airport for 2 whole days as a result of a canceled flight. With the gracious assistance of an airport worker, Chi made his way to Scranton and eventually to Marywood. When he arrived at Marywood, it was the 4th of July weekend, and there barely were any people around. Well, this led to some more waiting. He finally connected with Marywood security, to whom he relayed his story. When Sister Mary got wind of Chi's sad and terrible story, Sister Mary, our hero, resolutely set up support structures to ensure that no other international student would ever experience such a situation again. Sister Mary also extended gracious provisions to Chi, a refuge and the support to get him through that initial setback all the way to graduation. For all these, Chi is deeply grateful to you, Sister Mary, and to Marywood. You and Marywood truly are a blessing to Chi. In his own words, he says, thanks and remain blessed. And so I present to you Chibuzo Anthony Arocendo, Master of Science. Yeah. Jeremiah W. McClinton, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Samantha Christine Stein, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Melanie J. Wittick, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. They're all good, aren't they? Daniel James Travis, Master of Business Administration, recipient of the Sister St. Agnes Medal for Excellence in Business. Hey, doing good. Karan Patel, Master of Business Administration. Hey. Deep Kumar Patel, Master of Business Administration. Brendan Dudley, Master of Business Administration. Yeah. Gabrielle Hedden, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Cameron Elizabeth Clark, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration, recipient of the Thomas and Nora Clark Medal for Excellence in Business. Fanny Patel, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Thank you. Hayden Brostowski, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Camille, wait first. Kandakar Islam, Bachelor of Business Administration. Oh, thank you, sir. Lauren C. Walker, Bachelor of Business Administration. Thank you. Vincent J. House, Bachelor of Business Administration. Hey. Giovanni Massimiliano Amato, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. You look cool, Kayla. Kayla Ann Octon, Bachelor of Business Administration. Cassidy Grace Miller, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Looking good, looking good. Teresa Emily Ackla, Bachelor of Business Administration. Oh, Lord. Christina Ann Zimzik, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. David Todd Jader, yeah, Bachelor of Business Administration. Zachary Joseph Bradbury, Master of Business Administration. Yeah. Hey. Joseph Guido, Bachelor of Business Administration. Thomas Reynold Gibson, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Patrick Dingwell, Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. Alexander Michael Firiola, Bachelor of Business Administration. Shane J. Smith, Bachelor of Business Administration. Taylor Nicole Troiani, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Jacqueline Suzanne Burke, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Emily Eileen Plumacher, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Adam Shaquille Buzotta, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Brendan Michael Davis, Bachelor of Business Administration. Megan McLeese, Bachelor of Business Administration. Looking good. Alexandra M. Pavak, Master of Business Administration. They all look good, don't they? Michelle Torres, Bachelor of Business Administration. Hey. Jason Patrick Lee, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Hey, how are you? Prakash Gurung, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Christopher Christoika, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Thank you. Jefferson Emmanuel Fontaine, cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah, love you too. Jake Jacobs, Bachelor of Business Administration. Hey. Justin R. Phillips, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Hey. Shannon M. Wheeler, Bachelor of Business Administration. Yeah. Alisa Ann North Mazda, Master of Business Administration. I'm doing good. Laura E. Stout, Master of Business Administration. Looking good. Oh, what happened? Corey Jeffrey Bayo, Bachelor of Business Administration. I know, it's good to see you. Abdulaziz Ali R. Harbi, Master of Science, MIS. I now welcome Dr. Amy Pache Woodruff, Director of the School of Education, to the podium.
Sister Mary, it is a pleasure to present to you the graduates from the School of Education. Okay. Madison Cardinelli, Master of Science. Alexandria M. Borgia, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Taylor Elizabeth Yakubuski, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science, recipient of the Rosemary Carroll Casimir Medal for Excellence in Elementary Education. Congratulations. Ashley Elizabeth Swartz, Master of Science. Caitlin Margaret Riley, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Emily Jean Theobald, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Science, recipient of the Margaret Ruddy Doherty Medal for Academic Excellence in Special Education. Brianna Rose Mann, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Bianca Marie Gifford, cum laude, Bachelor of Science, recipient of the Sister Regina Barrett Medal for Excellence in Early Childhood Education. Congratulations. Hunter Fountain, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Samantha L. Frisbee, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Alexis Lynn Maroney, Master of Arts in Teaching. Ariana Nicole Sexton, Master of Arts in Teaching. Haley Pasucci, Master of Science, Higher Education Administration. Antonia G. Serta-Bevin, Master of Science, Higher Education Administration. Come on up. I love your cat. Nice. Shelby Lynn Sloboda, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Heather M. Schmidt, Bachelor of Science. Sarah J. Marshall, Master of Science. Congrats. Samantha Grace Hawk, Master of Science. Andrea Rose Panoni, Master of Science. Lauren McMaster, Master of Arts in Teaching. David Haynes, Bachelor of Science. Hannah Christine Newswander, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Olivia Ruth Shenko, cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Emily Marie Paltis, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Juliette Marina Laprie, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Science. Victoria Spinozzi, Bachelor of Science.
Nina Marie Bonavolia, Bachelor of Science.
Julia Lynn Yanoski, Master of Arts in Teaching. Shay Kaylin Olszewski, Master of Arts in Teaching. Nicole Christine Sinclair, Master of Science. Dina Haroon Madavi, Master of Arts in Teaching. Robert H. Rowinski, Master of Science. Celia Perobi, Master of Arts in Teaching. Congratulations. Jacqueline Nicole Sorensen, Bachelor of Science. I welcome Dean Sullivan back to the podium.
Let me ask if there are any graduates in the crowd that did not have the opportunity to come up and receive their degrees. Don't be shy. Seeing none, Sister Mary, the podium is yours.
Let's give a round of applause to all of our graduates. I don't know if it was Dr. Dum Dum or the fact that it was the last graduation ceremony, but this was definitely the liveliest. Congratulations. Thank you, faculty. And I would just like to make a few announcements. During the spring semester, Marywood traditionally recognizes members of the university's faculty, administration, and staff for their distinguished years of service and commitment to our students. We usually have a celebration for all those who are celebrating their years of service, but obviously during COVID we weren't able to do that, but we will do something for them in the fall. However, at this time, I would like to publicly recognize the continued dedication of these individuals, some of whom are here and who have helped with these ceremonies and who have been tireless in their efforts to do so. Please know of our appreciation for all that you do to make Marywood the wonderful university that it is. Additionally, we traditionally express our gratitude as we bid farewell to several dedicated members of the Marywood University faculty and administration who are retiring after many years of faithful service. They too will be celebrated by a party next month, but at this point I would just like to say that we wish to congratulate them. And finally, 2 members of the Board of Trustees have served Marywood faithfully for many years and will be coming to the ends of their terms. They are Mary Ann Conaboy Abrahamson and Mary Ellen McDonough. So for our people who are celebrating years of service, for our retirees, and for our Board of Trustee members who will be leaving the board, I ask you to please acknowledge them with your gratitude and appreciation. At this time, I turn the podium back to one of our students who will address you, someone who has recently become my pen pal, Rebecca.
Members of the Marywood University Corporation, trustees of the university, Sister Mary Persico, Reverend clergy, revered sisters, university officers, members of the faculty, administration, and staff, parents, families, and guests, fellow students. Well, I'd like to start today by cluing you guys in on a couple numbers I've collected over the past few weeks. Over the last 4 years, we have collectively consumed 121,994 cups of Starbucks. That's only what's sold at the Learning Commons. We've read 7,626 emails. We've attended 37 art gallery openings and cheered at 1,065 athletic events over the university's 22 varsity sports. That's quite an impressive record. So let me give you another number, 491,520 minutes. Based on the average number of credits taken each semester over 4 years, that is the amount of time we've spent in class and studying. Time we've spent perfecting business strategies, flying high as aviators, changing lives as educators, and shaping spaces through design. From our core courses in languages, histories, sciences, and literatures to our electives, each was a part of this time spent. That doesn't even begin to include clubs and organizations, service trips, or the time that we've dedicated to jobs and families. 491,520 minutes. Today, our graduation day, we remember all the components of our experiences in Pacers and how they have brought us to this moment. So what do all these numbers suggest? Well, other than the fact of which that clearly college students love their coffee, and I kind of need to reconsider before saying, it's fine, you can just email me. These numbers demonstrate our ability to quantify, to measure everything. We can measure things like time spent, games played, and yes, someone is even counting how much coffee you would drink. Chartwells gave me those numbers. So in continuation, I'd like to ask this next. How many times do you think you laughed in the last 4 years? Statistically, 24,820 times. So I'm gonna go a step further and ask, how many times did you have a late night with your friends as you're working towards that final project and you laughed so hard you nearly cried? Not only did you laugh so hard you nearly cried, but it was at something that frankly wasn't even that funny. Woo! Considering the people we surround ourselves with, how many times did you have the most enlightening conversation? Do you recall an aha moment in class? How about that moment when you were inspired by a newfound secret passion? Or how about a professor that completely changed how you view the world, your profession, and your position in both? Or this one might be my personal favorite, the indescribable feeling of finishing a final project, test, critique, and other than needing a few hours of sleep, you also need just a moment to stare off into space and contemplate your entire existence, yet it's the best part of the entire semester? All these are questions that suggest that perhaps the things we remember most lie beyond the things we can easily calculate. Among the things that defy our calculation is our gratitude. To my classmates, we know we would not be here today without the faculty who have brought us moments of clarity, new perspectives, and their expertise. The staff who've helped us with everything from registering for classes to making sure we're actually eating. And especially a thank you to those who have kept our buildings open and safe during this very difficult year. We'd also like to thank the donors who contributed to our scholarships, and most especially, we thank our family and friends, without whom we wouldn't be here today. Would you join me for a moment in a round of applause just to appreciate all these people? Now, notice that took less than a minute. We acknowledged all these people in a quantifiable amount of time, yet our gratitude isn't defined by that boundary. So, as I approach my end of my time with you all here today, I'd like to ask one more question. How many times do we all wish to be done, only to get here today and wish yet a little more time? That's the funny thing about assuming everything is quantifiable. It makes our experiences finite. We are presented with distinctive rules and an assumed end to the game. But here's a point of interest. What if our experiences don't get to be finite? Instead, they're that unquantifiable component. We offer today as a celebration of all the moments that have shaped us over our time here at Marywood. As we move forward, we get to take a piece of this community with us in the positions we take, the stances we fight for, and the people we've become. We aren't defined by an assumed end. Instead, we take these instances with us and we measure in experiences. We move to the next chapter, taking with us each of our own Marywood moments, the moments beyond the 491,520 minutes of class time. Our experiences follow us through the years, encompassing every lesson, every friendship, and yes, every cup of coffee, providing beyond measure, meaning more than the time, 2,102,400 minutes for those who are counting, we spent as students. We are and continue to be Pacers. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2020.
Good afternoon. My name is Bernice Samancic-Lucas, and I am the Secretary of the Marywood University Alumni Association Board of Directors. It is indeed a pleasure to be speaking to the future of the Marywood University Alumni Association. It isn't unusual for you to leave this ceremony with a sense of accomplishment and a feeling of uneasiness as you come to realize you are leaving Marywood behind. The Marywood Alumni Association provides the opportunity for you to continue your Marywood experience on and off campus. Marywood alumni total over 30,000 all over the world. Connect with us via social media and share your job updates, your moves, your marriages, and so on. Our alumni chapters will connect you with fellow alumni at events throughout the country. Volunteer, get involved, stay in touch. Your success is Marywood's success. Now, it is my privilege to complete your transition this day. To begin your journey from students to alumni, I ask all the members of the class of 2021 to please stand. In accordance with the bylaws of the Marywood Alumni Association and by the authority vested in me by the President of the Marywood University Alumni Association, I hereby declare the class of 2021 lifelong members of the Marywood Alumni Association with all of the rights and privileges accorded thereto. In closing, I congratulate each of you as you join your over 30,000 sisters and brothers as sons and daughters of Marywood University forever. Thank you.
Let us pray. As we conclude this joyful day in your presence, let us do so in the knowledge of your love and protection. Although we have experienced challenging events and circumstances, your love and grace guides our minds and hearts so that we can emerge faithful friends, grateful graduates, and forever bring to the world the best of who we are and who we will become. As you have nurtured these young men and women through their years at Marywood University, so now may we give thanks for the friendships, experiences, and memories they have forged through their time among us. Let us be grateful for the generosity of their families, instructors, and all who have journeyed with them through their time spent in this most sacred and venerable place of family and faith. Let us remember all that has brought us to this day and be present to this time and place as we look confidently to the future and to what we are yet to become. Let us look at our lives and the many blessings we have received from your hands and give thanks that you, O Lord, have graced us with life and love. And let us be assured of your continued blessings as we go forth in courage, peace, and service to all, to touch this world in a positive and meaningful way through the love and presence of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.